Hello students, today we get to try jelly printing, and that weird clear thing is the jelly plate. These are super spendy but really fun, so I raised a bunch of money to get them to you guys. We're only going to peel the plastic off the top. I want to leave the plastic on the bottom, so it's kind of like acetate, then jelly, then acetate. Just take that acetate off the top. For this project, we're using acrylic paint. And we're using brayers. Acrylic paint stains clothing, and brayers are not a toy. Getting paint onto a brayer by using a small squirt on your magazine page. I would like you to work on a magazine today on top of a messy mat. To make a gel print, you need to get a thin layer of acrylic paint, this is not ink, onto your jelly plate. And so because it's translucent, I can see how thick the paint is going on, and this whole process is about experimenting. So you will do things that feel like a mistake and you will learn. This is a special tool called a catalyst. You lightly scrape it across your ink to make designs or patterns. Besides these catalyst tools today, you can also use gently the tip of a Q-tip or the tip of a paintbrush. How you turn and move things through your paint will change the pattern on the surface of the plate. So experiment around. When you're done using a tool, be cautious of where you're laying it down. Are you getting acrylic paint on the table or your clothes? And when you're ready to pull a print, you use your fingers to center a paper down on top of your jelly plate. You have to then gently press all over your jelly plate while holding your paper very still. You don't want it to scoot around. You don't want to accidentally not press down any part of your paper, or it'll miss that part. And when you're ready, gently pull your print and take a look. Now, I should have written my name on that paper at the beginning, and so right now, I can write my name and put it on the drying rack, or I can keep printing more and more layers on that paper, and you should try. Something else I could have done, all that ink that was left on the plate, before I wiped it, you can pull a second print. It's called a ghost print. So one pull is not all you have to do. You can make a bunch of different art today using a bunch of different techniques. So one other thing I wanted to make sure made it in this video is how much time and care I'm putting into cleaning things after I use them. These hand wipes are the best thing for cleaning at your table. Just make sure all your dirty hand wipes end up in the black garbage bin. So I clean my brayer so that I can try another color. I'm going to squirt a pea-sized amount, very tiny, onto my magazine, and I'm going to get some onto my brayer. Many people, in fact most who use jelly plates a lot, really just squirt the paint right onto their jelly plate, but they've gotten used to not using too much paint. These are pretty small plates, so they need a very small amount of ink. And the cool thing about using a magazine is you have a lot of other surface. And if I wanted to blend that yellow and that blue together on my brayer, I could do that. I can also just turn the page and end up with a clean magazine underneath me, so I can keep on working. All right, time to decide what I want to do for this layer. So what we're doing is called mono printing. It means that we can only make this creation one time. We're doing something on the plate, and we won't repeat it by making too many more prints exactly alike. For this layer, I decided to add some leaves down, and I'll show you some other tools and shapes. You can cut paper, you can press down some of our texture plates to add little textures in, and then see how it goes. I want you to experiment with using the light color first and then a dark color, or a dark color first and then a light color. The more experimenting you do today, the more you will learn for yourself about what you like. I hope by the end of the day you have a bunch of prints that you feel just sort of okay about. Then we'll be able to use those papers for lots of things. And we're gonna do a lot of Gelli printing in the next few weeks, so you can do lots of experimenting. Today will be a day of maybe making even just one, where we're learning how to clean up as well. So I'm pressing all over, and then the amazing reveal to see how those 2 layers turned out. Slowly pulling, and voila, very cool. My next little thing I want to try is called registering, and so I'm going to decide where I want my paper to go, and I'm going to tape it into place with one little hinge of tape. Here's my masking tape, and this is another cool reason to use a magazine underneath. I'm going to put one piece of masking tape down so that my paper can flip back and forth and stay centered, hopefully, over the Gelli plate once I get it into the position I want. So I'm going to remove those leaves, and underneath of my masking material, which means shape that I'm putting on to make a mask, like a stencil, there's still going to be some interesting design left. So I'm going to make a print of that and see how it turns out. I'm going to hinge it up slowly, and that really cool tiny detail left behind under the leaves made a cool print. Now I can add a second layer while my paper and Gelli plate are still in place. Here I am using a paintbrush, the bristles this time, to decide where to add some additional paint. Because this is acrylic paint, we have to make sure these brushes get soaked in some water immediately after class, or else all of the brushes we use today will be ruined. So I'm kind of looking around at where the leaves were lying, and I'm adding some more detail with some acrylic paint that I have left over. This is super fun to paint on. Let's see what happens next.